welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. I am beyond sorry, and this is one of the days, and I told you I'm honest on the air, off the air. I didn't set my alarm, or I set it and didn't hear it. So I greatly apologize for the fact that we've had to change our schedule today, and I apologize to the people that affected. Very much so. My deepest sorries for that, and we'll move forward. So I apologize for anything that may have caused any type of delay and any waiting on my part. We're up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. And we're going to jump right into it. NeapoliDANS has a new episode. It airs every Wednesday at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Today airing a little bit later, but we'll be back on schedule next week. We'll talk about the NFL playoffs at Syracuse basketball following a 12-5 start overall and a 3-1 start in the ACC. Right after this fast break, you'll hear from Dan Villari in NeapoliDANS.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing, and so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York for sales and service. Head there Monday through Saturday, and you can go anytime online to GreatLakesHondaCity.com, the only place that I've trusted with my vehicles for over a decade. And I wouldn't tell you unless I use them myself. So we are here for another edition of the NeapoliDANS. Myself, Dan Tortora. That guy, Dan Villari. You know us as DT and DV as well. And it's episode 4 of the NeapoliDANS. Hula like a senior, which before we got started, I had to tell Dan what that meant. Mr. Villari, how are we doing?
Very good, man. How are you?
I'm good. And the reason why, and like I tell everybody, just like a sitcom, there's a title that I create for every episode of NeapoliDANS. This one's called Hula Like a Senior because you were just in the Hula Bowl and you just got invited and accepted the Senior Bowl. So it was my way to put these two events together ahead of the draft into one unique episode title.
I love it, man. I love it. Get going.
So you were in the Hula Bowl last week, and that's why we weren't here. So we had the first 3 episodes of NeapoliDANS were every Wednesday at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. But last week the scheduling was crazy, so that's why we're bringing you episode 4 this week. We appreciate your patience. Dan, what can you tell me about the Hula Bowl, the experience, and why you accepted the opportunity?
The Hula Bowl was a amazing experience. I accepted it originally. It was my only opportunity to play in an All-Star game, and I heard that the Grudens were coaching, both head coaches.
Yeah.
Jay Gruden was my head coach, and they're awesome, great coaches, very funny. They bring energy, like love those guys, and it was an opportunity for me to talk to a ton of scouts, and compete against guys all over the country. So it was awesome. I had a blast.
And I saw those, and I don't know what I need to do to get me one of these. I guess I got to talk to you or talk to Pops or somebody, but I saw the 2-colored Villari jersey, the navy and orange in the stands, so I know that your family was there supporting you. Just what it meant for you that not only were you there in Orlando, Florida, but your family came, and then secondly, and most importantly, how do I get a Villari jersey that's got the cut in half?
I got the plug. I'll get you one.
Okay.
I got the plug. He's in my phone.
All right.
But it was great. Right when I got accepted and they invited me, right away my brother's like, "Oh, we're going." My friend was like, "Yeah, I'm coming." They took off work Friday and my whole family was like, let's book it right now. Like they just love any opportunity I get to play in a football game, and no matter where it is, honestly, in the country, they end up finding time to make it. So I'm extremely grateful for them that they were there. And then we made a little vacation out of it. So after the game, we all hung out by the pool and stuff, and it was really nice.
Yeah, I mean, for everybody that knows Wake Up Call and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, it's the second hub of my company overall. Do a ton of work down in Florida with Wake Up Call, our sports show here. So what did you get to do in Orlando in my second home? I know Orlando. I mean, I've gotten to know it for so many years. So beyond the Hula Bowl, what did you and the family and your friends do?
So when I got there, it was actually in Daytona. The hotel was in
Okay.
Daytona. We played the game in the Orlando area.
Okay.
But so I got there on Monday. My flight was delayed. I mean, on Sunday. My flight was delayed, and sorry, I did get there on Monday. My flight was delayed. I got there at like 4.
Okay.
Right when I get there, I just start getting texts from scouts, like one after the other. And they were just like, "Hey, this is so and so from the Cardinals or whatever it was. Can we meet?" So it was a little overwhelming because it was like 10 plus scouts all texting me at once. So I had to like basically stay on that conference floor and just meet with different teams for like 4 hours straight. So I was on my feet for like 4 or 5 hours, and they're asking you the same questions, and you're kind of repeating yourself to everybody.
Yeah.
So it was a lot. I ended up being done at like 11 o'clock because you got to register and talk to a bunch of people. So the first night was very not overwhelming, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
And then I was like, at some point, one scout wanted to meet with me at like 10:45, and I was like, "Hey, can we meet tomorrow? Like, I gotta get some sleep. Like, I gotta play football tomorrow. Like, I gotta get kick my feet up." And
Yeah.
um, I actually asked another scout. I was like, "Hey, are they gonna be mad if I like say I gotta go to bed? Like, this is crazy. 11:45."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Nah, nah, go get some rest, because all that matters at the end of the day is how you play."
Yeah.
So yeah, then I went to bed, and then every day we had early morning meetings, walkthrough, practice, out at Daytona College, and then we'd come back, have lunch, have another meeting, another walkthrough, and then you'd meet with scouts. Whoever wanted to meet with you in the late evening, you just meet with them, and that's how it went up until the game.
So, all in all, how many NFL teams did you meet with?
I talked to about 18 teams.
So, more than half the league. Was there any like team that you felt like stood out to you? I know you said you answered a lot of the same questions, but was there any experience that you thought like, hey, there's something more here?
I really liked my Chargers interview. That guy really liked me, and I really liked the questions he was asking me. So I feel like that went really well. He even told me like I want to meet with you again. Like, that was awesome. Tampa Bay was really good. The Browns was really good. There was a lot of really great ones. The 49ers I liked a lot. So a lot of teams we had great interviews with. So the Vikings was great. So just a lot of teams that I think really liked me. So I'm glad I got to talk to them.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's interesting, like you said, going through this process, and you got like meeting at like you said, you land and your phone's blowing up, and they're like, "Can we meet? Can we meet? Can we meet? Can we meet?" I mean, for you, just what that means to you, that you went through so much adversity this season, so many different quarterbacks, like trying to get the ball out to you and all this stuff, and then here you are taking the opportunity at the Hula Bowl to get in front of these NFL scouts, and your phone starts blowing up and they're reaching out to you and saying, let's meet, let's meet, let's meet, let's meet, to the point, like you said, where it's almost midnight and they still want to meet with you. Like, what did that mean to you that you had so many scouts of so many NFL teams that were like, we see something in this guy enough to actually talk to him?
It was amazing. I was very grateful, and what made me happy was that our season didn't go very well. So I heard a lot of things that because of how your season went, your stats, and you're getting overlooked, and we don't know how things are gonna pan out for you. And then just talking to these scouts, like they see the film, like they tell me that, yeah, you guys struggled, but you're showing flashes every play of an NFL player. So just hearing their feedback, and that they really were interested in me, and they knew of me, and they watched me, that was refreshing to hear. Absolutely.
So, for the fact that these scouts went beyond the typical film, like what we see when we're watching the game, sitting at home, that they were going to those spots to see, are you running your routes? Are you setting a good block? What are you doing in the open field? That it wasn't just, kind of the average fan, what they see, which essentially is like, okay, the quarterback drops back, he's looking around, he gets sacked, so then they might think nobody got open. The fact that these scouts are looking at, there's 136 FBS schools, plus the FCS, plus Division II, Division III, JUCO, and overseas players. And here they are taking time to look at film at Dan Villari beyond the film that you see during a telecast, to actually see how you're blocking, what you're doing in the field, are you running a good route, how are you utilizing your body? What did that mean to you that these scouts are saying, hey, you're being overlooked, but we're seeing what you're doing in the field? Like, we took the time to watch deeper into the film.
Yeah, it was a relief, because that's what I had to struggle with all year, is not knowing if I was going to get my fair opportunities, and not going to get eyes on me because of the losing season and stuff. So that was just very, like I said, relieving, refreshing, motivating, and I was pumped, man. Every interview, I was so pumped leaving it. I just felt so good about every single conversation I had. And the best part is these scouts, a lot of them didn't even know my story. So it was more like they wanted to know more about me and how I came up to this point. They didn't know about my quarterback days, a lot of them. They didn't know that I was on scout team, that I've had a bumpy road to get to where I'm at. So that was really cool to just because one of the questions I always got asked was like, "What's the biggest adversity you faced?" And when I just told them my story and the injuries and the position change, the losing seasons, them moving my position back and forth, these scouts were like, "Wow, like you're resilient for sure. Like you're proving it every single year it seems." So the message was pretty much, anything that gets thrown at me in the future, it's a piece of cake.
Well, I think that's the thing too, because these NFL teams might be asking, "How would you respond to adversity?" And you're saying, "I already did." And they're
Yeah.
saying, "Well, would you be open to a position change?" And you say, "I already have been." And you say, "Well, how do you respond from injury?" And you say, "Already been through it." And you say, "Well, if a team's losing, how do you keep your morale up, and how do you stay professional and be a leader?" Already did it. Became a
Mm,
leader in the tight end room before the end of the season. My head coach said that I was one of the leaders on the team itself in its entirety of 105 players. So
mm.
when you were answering these questions, did you feel like what once was a burden and what once you might have questioned God about, you're now looking up at God and saying, "Thank you for giving me all of that fire because it helped to forge me into somebody that can answer all these NFL questions"?
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought after every single interview. Um, and I always knew, like, when I was going through those hard times this season, I always knew, like, if I just give everything to this game, like, God's gonna repay me one day. Like I always say, one day, one day, one day. Um, like my tattoo, John 13:7. You may not know now, but later you will understand.
Yeah.
Like that's why I got this tattoo. So now it's starting to come to light the kind of player I am and the stuff I've had to overcome. And essentially, I ended up right where I would have been if we had a great winning season. So just thank all glory to God and thank you. Thank you to Him.
Well, and I think that's the thing, right? We work so hard and we wonder, is anybody watching? Can anybody see it? Does anybody know what I'm putting in here? Is anybody picking up what I'm putting down? And I mean, for you to be living it, like all of these moments, losing seasons, injuries, changing position, changing school. I mean, are you looking at God right now and saying, like, all that stuff that was out of my control that I worried about. Like, are they going to see me? Are they going to see my talent? Are they going to see what I can do, my value? Are they going to let me tell my story? Are they even going to let me in the building? Like all these questions that you had. Are you looking at God now going like, there's no one else that could have done this but you, God. Like I did all the things in my control. All this stuff's out of my control. And here I am with more than half the NFL talking with me, and I got an opportunity at the Hula Bowl. I'm gonna have another opportunity at the Senior Bowl. Like, are you sitting here saying, God, you did all the stuff that I prayed about that I had genuinely no control over?
Yeah. Yeah. Mainly, Dan, what I stopped doing is I stopped questioning Him. I stopped questioning Him and I'm following His plan. And all I do is pray, trust Him, fear Him, and just work. Like that my life is so, I'm completely locked in right now. There's not a thing that can take me off my track. And like that's the theme right now is don't question Him and work because it's coming. And even at the Hula Bowl, my trainer flew down. I was working out with him after meetings and all and practice and everything, I was working out with him
Yeah.
twice a day before I went to bed to make sure my body was feeling good. I would do a lot of ankle. He would get my ankle right because I had a sprained ankle. He would stretch me out and we'd get a little pump in. We did some hip and band work. So I was putting in extra time because I'm like, this is what I did my whole life. I just did extra and just prayed. So happens that, I put in that extra work all week at the Hula Bowl. It was a little nuts. Like I should have been off my feet, chilling. But then I go out and play in the Hula Bowl and I have a great game. So I just, you know, gotta stop questioning God. Just work. That's it. Because it's always worked out my whole life.
Well, and that's, you led me right into that, is the Hula Bowl itself. Like you said, I took this opportunity because at the time it was my only all-star opportunity to showcase myself to NFL scouts. So reflecting on the game, what did you do that you felt like put yourself in a good position? You just mentioned like I had a great game, so bring me into the game and what happened and what you feel like you showed the NFL.
Yeah, so I only had 3 drives in the game. The first drive, I had a few nice blocks. Then I caught a flat route on like 3rd and 9, caught it, converted it. Then we scored. Um, then the second drive, caught a stick route, blocked well. Third drive was at the end of the game. It was 2-minute drill, and I caught like a 30-yard seam ball down the middle of the field. Um, Ran the ball to the ref. Very next play, I run a stick route, catch it in traffic. I get cracked. Held on to it, ran the ball to the ref, got lined up, and we drove all the way down the field. So I just feel like, I show that I can make plays in the pass game and be a great blocker and just be like the best all around tight end at that All Star game and in the country, honestly. So just balance and versatility is what I showed and reliability. Yeah, and only got 3 drives and I made my mark with 3 drives. So I was happy about that.
Well, I think it's interesting what you said, and it speaks to you and what you can be to an NFL franchise, that you weren't talking about, I got this many passes and I converted this and that's it. You talked about your blocking, which some people
Hmm.
don't want to do because it's not flashy and it's not scoring and it's not catching the ball. And a lot of guys say when you hike the ball, like when the ball is hiked, I want the ball, give me the ball. Where you're talking about like, I made this block, I did this, I did, like you're showing the other side of being a tight end, an
Hmm.
extension of the offensive line. So just, I mean, speak with the NFL about that for the scouts that may be watching. Just
Yeah.
why you're not a tight end that's just looking for the ball all the time.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much to sum it up, I'm not the biggest guy, I'm not the strongest guy, but I'm a tough son of a bitch, I'll tell you that. And I'm willing to hit you in the face. So just I think if you're a tight end and you're willing and your technique is great and you strain to the whistle, like that's what you need. That's what you need as a tight end. And the ability to stay out there on the field and run multiple plays. So the coordinator doesn't have to switch personnel or anything. You just keep one guy out there that could run a variety of stuff. Blocking in space, blocking in line, any type of route in the book. And even pass pro, even I feel like I'm pretty good at pass pro, just because of my technique and my strain. So just being that all around guy, who's not just good at one thing, but is good at 3 or 4 things.
Here in this edition of NeapoliDANS, showcasing Dan Villari, 2026 NFL draft prospect at the tight end position. We called this episode Hula Like a Senior. So after the Hula Bowl, you get the opportunity to be in the Senior Bowl, the Panini Senior Bowl, which obviously Panini brings those cards to life for the NFL over many years. And you're the only, so I'm looking at the roster right now of all of these schools, the Oregons, the Penn States, the SMUs, the TCUs, the Texas A&M, Texas Tech, USC, Georgia, Indiana, so on and so forth, Arkansas, Alabama. and you're the only accepted invite for Syracuse. Bring me into finding out that you have an invite to the Panini Senior Bowl. You have another opportunity to showcase yourself, and what you thought was maybe going to only be the Hula Bowl has now turned into yet another opportunity for the NFL to see you on a massive stage in a game that is very well known, and an opportunity at the Senior Bowl that is obviously going to put even more eyes on you, on top of the fact that you've already spoken with more than half the NFL.
Yeah, so leading up to the game, well, leading up to this point, I always heard, that I was on their board for the Senior Bowl, but they didn't want to pull the trigger for whatever reason. But I think that I'm not sure, but I think a scout saw me at the Hula Bowl and probably talked to someone at the Senior Bowl, and on top of that, my agent was calling the Senior Bowl, and it probably just confirmed it, like, hey, this guy can play, he can move well. So my agent called me the day before the Hula Bowl, and he was like, "You're in, bro. Let's do this thing. Like, they accepted you, they love you, and they think you're an intriguing player, and you're gonna play for a long time. So, yeah, you're in." And I was pumped. I was pumped about it.
And I'm looking at the roster of all of these Senior Bowl accepted invites around the country. There's only 8 tight ends in the entire nation that are a part of this right now. What does that mean to you?
It's just a testament to my faith and my work, man. It's a blessing. It's where I've always strived to be at, is on top. And I've always felt like that. I've always felt like I was the best tight end in the country, and now I get an opportunity to show it. So I'm just pumped, man. I'm just pumped.
Are you ready to have 11:45 p.m. Conversations with scouts?
I'll do it at 2 a.m., man. I don't care. I'm ready. I'm down here in Fort Myers training, and so now I have a strict routine leading up to the game. So
yeah,
I'm going to be ready. I'm ready, but I'm going to be even more ready when it comes time.
Yeah, and here we are bringing you this edition of NeapoliDANS on January 14th. And so as we look at it right now, January 31st is going to be the Panini Senior Bowl. So it's a little over 2 weeks away. You've had an opportunity to talk with a lot of these NFL teams, to tell them who you are and what you're about. So a final note for this episode: what were your biggest takeaways, and did these NFL teams, did any of them tell you, hey, this is why we're intrigued, this is why we wanted to talk with you? So any takeaways, or did they give any reason to you as to why they wanted to spend a few minutes with Dan Villari when they could go talk to anybody?
I thought it would have been like the versatility, the Wildcat, like kind of my story, but it was more, they just watch the tape and they see an NFL tight end on tape. They see a dynamic guy, explosive route runner, and a dude who's pretty physical. So I think just the tape from 2025 alone, God, I'm telling them to watch the 2023 tape, please. Like, I need you to watch that too, because I feel like that'll bring my stock up a lot. But they just watched this past season and they like what they see, and they understand that kind of a diamond in the rough.
So what do you want to say to the people, somebody out there right now, whatever's going on in their lives, they're struggling, they don't know if God hears them, they don't know if anybody cares, they don't know if they can do it, they're thinking about staying down in the mud. What do you want to say to them?
Manifest and visualize everything you want in your life. Write it down every single day. I got a journal. I write down who I want to be and who I envision myself to be today and in the future. I just manifest everything I'm going to be, what I'm going to do, my goals, and pray about it. And then you got to, most importantly, be about it. Work. Have a routine. And have a routine. A routine is like a recipe for your goals. So have a recipe that is going to allow you to reach them. Don't just sit around and just hope, So I would say that for sure will get you anywhere you want to go.
The man to get it out the mud, Dan Villari, your tight end for the
I like that.
2026 NFL Draft. Episode 4 here with you of NeapoliDANS. Hula like a senior, going from the Hula Bowl to the Senior Bowl. And we'll be back with you next week at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Wednesdays weekly on Wake Up Call exclusively with Dan Villari telling his story right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. As always, brother, proud of you. I'm happy. I was excited to talk about the Hula Bowl and going into the Senior Bowl and coming off of everything that you told me happened in the background and everything you've experienced. I'm now like jump out of my seat type of excited, and I hope it only gets better for someone who prays about it and then turns around and goes out and is about it as well. So keep doing your work, keep God first, and I can't wait for you to continue to surprise people, but not surprise yourself.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dan. Pleasure talking, man.
And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. We want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to a Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. You can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, everyone in the world's going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place, and I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, and you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Kaz location, and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. We understand how hard it is to work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge, and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They're open for sales and service Monday through Saturday. And you can also go online to greatlakeshondacity.com and get a sneak peek of their inventory. Big time thanks to Dan Villari for letting us do this exclusive series called NeapoliDANS, where Dan Villari and myself, Dan Tortora, speak on his entire journey. We go back to the past, we come to the present, we talk about what is hopefully upcoming in the future here, all on the road to the 2026 NFL Draft for this Syracuse Orange tight end alum. Speaking of the NFL, getting into the NFL and these NFL playoffs, Murph and I were talking about the playoffs on Monday, and at that point, all the games had been played except for one, and so that game was played and completed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now the Steelers are looking for a new head coach. So, the two teams that were fighting to win the AFC North are both without their head coach of almost 2 decades. When you look at Mike Tomlin, who is with the Pittsburgh Steelers for 19 seasons, and you look at John Harbaugh, who was with the Baltimore Ravens for 18 seasons. I don't really understand these moves. I definitely don't understand the move that Baltimore did with John Harbaugh. Well, I don't understand either one. Mike Tomlin, I said, earned the right that he can leave when he wants to leave. And maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's why it said stepping down and not fired or let go. So let's get into the conversation about the Mike Tomlin move. So Mike Tomlin steps down after the team loses their playoff game at home to the Houston Texans. Now, I picked the Houston Texans to win the game because I feel like they're hot, and I leaned in their direction. I predicted before the season began that Aaron Rodgers would make the playoffs in his first season with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But when it came to the matchup with the Texans, even though I picked the Steelers to make it months and months and months ago, their matchup, I didn't like that matchup for them, and I picked the Houston Texans. So, Mike Tomlin stepping down as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers following that game. In 19 seasons as an NFL head coach, all with Pittsburgh, dating back to 2007, he has compiled a record of 193 wins, 114 losses, and 2 ties. So almost twice as many wins as losses, 2 ties. He has had a winning record in 16 of those 19 seasons, attaining at least 10 wins in a season in 12 of those 16 winning seasons. The other 3 seasons that were not winning seasons were not losing seasons. He never had a losing season as a head coach. How many people can say that at the high school, college, pee-wee, pro level, that they've never had a losing season as a head coach? 16 of his 19 seasons, winning seasons. 12 of those 16 seasons, 10 wins or more. The 3 seasons that were not winning seasons, he went 8-8. He's never, ever once had an under 500 record as a head coach. And he led the team to a Super Bowl in 2008-9. I understand we live in this world of what have you done for me lately? But Mike Tomlin is available. John Harbaugh, who I mentioned his statistic, and he won a Super Bowl too. So you got 2 Super Bowl head coaches. Well, they didn't win it recently. No, they didn't. They didn't win it recently. But there's some coaches that never get there. Never have a chance to win it. You got 2 coaches that between the 2 of them have 37 years of being a head coach in the NFL. And their success. I mean, you talk about what have you done for me lately. This is when coaches like John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin get let go. This is where I feel like people get so used to having better than most have that they get greedy that it's not enough, right? Because you up the ante, because you as a coach are more successful than you're not successful, because you're better, because you're consistent more so than other coaches in the league. You get punished for the level that you've raised a team to. What if Baltimore hires a coach and he has multiple losing seasons? What if he has 3 wins next year? What if the Pittsburgh Steelers, who haven't won a playoff game in a bunch of years, what if they don't make the playoffs for the next 3 years? To look at John Harbaugh, 180 wins, 113 losses, no ties. Tomlin started in 2007. Harbaugh became a head coach of the Baltimore Ravens and has been a head coach in the NFL only with Baltimore since 2008. 11-5, 9-7, 12-4, 12-4, 10-6 Super Bowl champions that year, 2012-13. 8-8, 10-6, 5-11, 8-8, 9-7, 10-6, 14-2, 11-5, 8-9, 10-7, 13-4, 12-5, 8-9. He, unlike Harbaugh, does have losing seasons. He has 3 of them. 2 of them have come in the last 5 years, but sandwiched in between them are 3 seasons of 10 wins or more. This coach, John Harbaugh, in 2023 went 13-4. In 2024 went 12-5. And outside of a missed field goal, he's back in the playoffs this year, and they have a winning record again going into the postseason. Which meant 4. So instead of 8-9, they would have been 9-8, which means 4 winning seasons in a row, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 winning seasons in the last 9 years. I honestly feel like these coaches got let go because everybody wants to win, but in other NFL franchises, it's like, let's get to a winning record. Let's get to 2 winning records in a row. Let's get to the playoffs. Let's try and have a 10-win season. These guys were doing this so much that they had raised the bar of what the baseline was, what mediocrity was. Like mediocrity to them, like you got to have 10 or more. They set the bar so high. They raised the level so high in Pittsburgh and Baltimore, and got punished because of it. You show me other coaches in the NFL that have spent almost 20 years recently. I'm not talking about the Tom Landrys and and the Vince Lombardis and so on and so on. I'm talking about Jerry and Jimmy Johnson, pardon me. I'm talking about right now, within these last 20 years, show me a coach. You could say Bill Belichick, right? He's not coaching right now. Show me an active coach in the last 20 years, an active coach in the NFL that's doing this. Nobody's doing this. You are spoiled to fire a coach who never had a losing season. You're spoiled to fire a coach after he just had 3 seasons in a row of 10 or more wins, including a 13-win season. So whoever comes into Baltimore and Pittsburgh, just understand, you better go to a Super Bowl. within your first 3 years. Or you might be on the chopping block because look at what they built. To me, John Harbaugh should be coaching until he doesn't want to anymore. Maybe he wanted to change the scenery. Mike Tomlin, maybe he wanted to change the scenery. Maybe sometimes you just need to change because you've stayed as long as you can in one place. So maybe it was time for these gentlemen. But dang it, there's a lot of NFL franchises that would love to have the problems that Pittsburgh and Baltimore have. And by problems, I'm being facetious. I mean, consistently winning, not occasionally winning. Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, whoever gets you, God bless them. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll wrap things up right after this. Inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. Avicoli's Restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on into the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's KAMP ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily?
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Go out and see them today and every Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, Sundays from 10 to 5. Sports cards as well as trading cards, Disney, Arcana, Magic the Gathering, One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, hockey, soccer, basketball, baseball, football, and more. There's so many great things there, but the biggest thing I can tell you about GG Cards and Breaks is it allows us the opportunity to be big kids. It allows us to get closer to our teams, the players that we love, and of course the games that we love, and to build long-lasting friendships. I don't know how to describe it perfectly in words, folks. When it comes to sports cards and trading cards and the community and the friendships you make, it's just something that sometimes goes without words, and you just know. Experience that. Go to GG Cards and Breaks and become part of the fam today. Big time shout out to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. You can't miss it. Giant brick building, double drive-through, waiting for you to be hanging out today. They're doing some amazing things out at Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, led by Megan Sorber and her team. And I implore you to go out there, whether you're a fan of the original, the spicy, the grilled, or any one of those favorites at Chick-fil-A, including the limited time specials. It's all at Chick-fil-A DeWitt, waiting for you today. And it's lunchtime, so we'll see you over on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I want to congratulate Syracuse Orange men's and women's basketball. On the men's side of things, last night I was at the game. The game was late. I did not go to bed until well after midnight, but they won the game, and they are now 12-5 overall, 3-1 in the ACC. After losing their first game in the ACC this season, which was a home match against the Clemson Tigers, they went on the road to defeat the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, then the Pitt Panthers, and it's not easy to win in the Pete, no matter what the record is for the Pitt Panthers. The Pete is a tough place to play. They beat them 83-72, and then they got their first home victory inside of the ACC, defeating Florida State. They're now on a 3-game winning streak. They've won 6 of their last 7 games, and they've won 3 of their 4 games inside of their conference. Their next game is on the road January 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on the ACC Network at Boston College for the men's basketball team. That game is this Saturday, and then they'll be back at home against Virginia Tech on January 21st, a Wednesday, also 9 p.m. Eastern Time at the ACC Network. So basically, go to work, go home, take a nap, and then go to the game. On the women's side of things for Syracuse Orange basketball here, taking a look at how the women are doing under Felicia Leggett-Jack. They are currently 4-2 in the ACC, 14-3 overall. So both teams playing well. Between the two teams overall, they have 26 wins and only 8 losses. Speaking of Syracuse Orange men's and women's basketball combined, in the ACC, they have a combined record of 7-3. So a shout out to Adrian Autry, Felicia Leggett-Jack, and all the student athletes. Thanks for being with us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Have a beautiful day. Be safe. God bless. No stress. Do your best. We'll talk with you tomorrow. Plenty of great specials coming up from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios.